This is A's Cast Live, your comprehensive look at the Oakland Athletics.
And the pitch is swung on, hit the right field, hit deep. Right field going back at the track, over his head, and over the wall. Do you believe that?
And 29 other MLB clubs.
Ramirez with a drive to deep right, away back, goal!
Go Hayes gets a bomb out there by the Rocks. And boy, oh boy, this third inning is now showtime.
It is a Judgian blast. All rise. Here comes the judge.
Join us as we take you inside the baseball universe, from humidors to spin rates to game-changing moments. We have you covered. Spend your afternoon with us next from the town, only on A's Cast Live. Here's Chris Townsend.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to A's Cast Live, the Friday edition. Of course, it is happy hour here in the Treehouse. We are not too far away from this place being packed. People are going to be in here watching the Warriors game, Game 6. Are you finally admitting that when you are down 3-1 that it is a must-win? I know you never like to say people need to win anything. Will you now admit that this game is a must-win?
I think this might be the biggest game of the Warriors season. Well, I don't know. Last night the other night was the biggest one. Now this is the bigger one.
I mean, because if you don't win tonight,
season's over.
Season's over. So the Warrior game will be on. Tip-off is what, 7 o'clock?
Yeah, I heard someone say earlier that if the Warrior, the winner of this game wins the series.
What? That's
think about it.
That's breaking news. I need to go to Twitter and tweet that.
If the Lakers win, the series is over. But if the Warriors win, so they're going to win on Sunday. That's a bold statement.
The winner of tonight, because then it's over.
Yeah, it's over. Or it's over Sunday.
All right.
Well, it's going to be over Sunday regardless.
All right, settle down, all you big take artists. All right, coming up here, we've got a great show for you. A's Hall of Famer Dave Stewart is going to join us coming up here at 4:15. We have a player, TBD. TBD is always one of my favorites. TBD brings it. We'll say something controversial that may go viral. Player TBD can get a little mouthy.
Yeah, that's true. I was told it could have been Brent Rooker, but it's not going to be Brent.
It's not Rook.
The guy's been on TV all week. I think we need to give him a break.
Oh wow! Well, you can be D-Row, but can't come on with us.
Well, that's because he heard that I told you wanted to break down your swing with him, and you're like, I'm not going to be the guy that ruins him. We were talking about that yesterday.
I was going to bring out his golf swing. I was not going to stick with his baseball swing. Dallas Braden, as we just had the anniversary of the perfect game on Mother's Day. Wasn't it weird that you're like, wait a minute, it's not Sunday. How is it just the way the dates line up? But yes, we just did. It was the 19th perfect game in Major League Baseball history, 2010 on Mother's Day. None of us who were a part of it will ever forget it. We'll talk to Dallas Braden about that. And I got some pitching things for him to talk about. And it's like, wow. And also Mark Kotsay, the manager of your Oakland Athletics, will be here at 5 o'clock. This is a very interesting Mark Kotsay show because we have never been in. Well, we've been in his office. We've never filmed in his office. So if you're listening, athletics.com/A'sCast, we love you. If you're watching on YouTube, Twitter, or on Facebook, for the first time, you're going to see Mark Kotsay's office because obviously we've built a media room for him. You've seen us do multiple interviews in there, one recently with David Force, the general manager. But you see where Mark Kotsay always does after the game. You see it on NBC Sports California. That we've built this room and we can use it like rain delays and stuff like that. But we're actually filming inside his office. We're going inside. I don't think there's been too many cameras inside his office.
I don't think there has either. And him and I have the same book about discipline as destiny. That's something Kotsay and I talked about after.
For some reason, it seems like he's read it and you haven't. You have it. Have you read it?
I read a bit of it. I've read all of it.
Okay.
I read the other book.
He's read it.
The author, Ryan Holiday.
He's read it and plied it.
I haven't got there yet. But his other book was really good from the same author. I told Kotsay to read that one.
All right. So tonight I love how my notes, because I am doing TV today too, filling in for Brody Brazil. He must be on a nice little vacation.
Yeah.
Must be nice. Brody takes a little vacation during the season.
I don't know how that's possible.
Really? Yeah.
I mean, I did it last year with my honeymoon, but that's a little different.
And everybody's talking about, tomorrow's a Fox game. Well, we're still working tomorrow. That's Dave Stewart, ladies and gentlemen. We got these fancy. Did you get these fancy socks? These Dave Stewart doesn't have to wear. It is Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month, but we're going to say it's night for us here at the ballpark. You get these killer socks. You're actually now. I'm showing them so you'll see why you need to come to the ballpark tonight to get these. Cody, what do they look like on your massive calves?
That's true. Yeah. Let me pull this stool up.
I mean, no one's ever going to say you didn't work out your calves when you were a kid.
Actually, I never really did work on my calves.
Those are just natural.
A lot of bike. It's as they say, God-given, as Booby Miles said in Friday Night Lights.
Those are just God-given big old turkey legs.
Yeah.
Well, turn around so they see the A's on the legs. That's what you got going tonight. I know my kids are excited about having these, so these are the socks that we are giving away. You know that, and the great Dave Stewart, does Dave want to go now to get out of here?
I don't know. He didn't say anything. He's over there. He's in the middle of a conversation.
Because I think we joke around a lot, and we give each other crap a lot, and we like to bring entertainment because you never know if you're going to have a great season, a tough season. It's just, we want to entertain you. We want to have fun. We want to break down Major League Baseball. We want to break down the A's, give you coverage you're not getting anywhere else. We want to do all of that. But sometimes we do things that I do believe we can be ahead of the curve in our game. And for some of you, you have to realize what we're doing is something that no one else is doing in baseball. And everybody in baseball is following what we're doing. We're not trying to brag. We're not just that other teams and people know what we do. So when we go to the winter meetings where everybody in the business is there and all 30 teams, they know who we are. They know what we do. They know what we're doing. And I'm kind of proud when something happens like today on MLB Network, on MLB Now. That is their signature show that's about the game and data. It's just not on, hey, let's put on a couple X players and hey, and then this is where they're breaking down hardcore baseball. They dedicated the first block. So in television, we have segments in radio or streaming as we call it. In television, they call them blocks. And in an hour-long show, you're going to have an A block, a B block, a C block, a D block. And a half-hour show, it's A, B, C, D. So A block is your first. This is our main thing that we're talking. We're coming right out of the gate, the A block. And your host today was not Brian Kenny. Your host is arguably the greatest television host of all time, Bob Costas. You might have heard of him.
Friend of the program.
It was Bob Costas, Tom Verducci, one of the great writers and also does broadcasting. Now he's a partner of Costas, and he's always a color guy on TV. And Dan O'Dowd, who you know how much I love, is a former GM. I think he is so bright. He's so good. Former GM of the Rockies, and now he was with the Indians through all their heyday in the 90s. Really smart, really good on TV. These are three big names, but especially Bob Costas.
I've heard of him.
You've heard of Bob Costas. Has everybody heard of Bob Costas? So Bob Costas, their whole A block today has been everything we have been really talking about for almost 2 years. There is a problem with pitching. There is a problem inside our game, and they can't figure out what to do. And I know for a lot of people, like, here's Towns again talking about innings pitched, and here's starts. Tom Verducci said, listen, 5-man rotation, just get it out of your mouth. That's gone. Pitching every 5 days is gone.
I can play a short snippet of it. I mean, it's 5
well, we
minutes,
got Dave Stewart here. We'll do it a little bit later. But he basically said, get ready. It's basically guys are pitching every 6 days. So what have I said? It's like, wait a minute. You're pitching them less often. You're pitching less pitches, and yet they're getting hurt more than ever. Yeah,
and the one thing I thought was really telling when he said that pitchers aren't going every 5th day, they're going every 6th day.
Only a quarter of the
league goes every 5th day.
But wait a minute, I'm still now paying you more than we've ever paid people. You're working less, we're paying you more, and you're getting hurt more. It was like a dream. It was like, and you even said it was like listening to me in a segment. They were talking about everything that we've been breaking down about, oh my God, what's going on with pitching. And it was like a validation. Today was like a validation of our work and all the stuff we have brought to you over the last year or so about pitching, where we disagree. I at least disagree with a lot of stuff that's going on. And the thing that I've really come to believe, and they were talking about it on this show today, was the fact that every starter comes out and now tries to pitch like a closer. It's not working because the body can't take it.
Oh, I was getting on my phone because I took a screenshot of the graphic they shared of, the guys if highest paid active starters or season stats. Max Scherzer is making $43.3 million. He's made 5 starts. Justin Verlander, $43.3 million. This is AAV. He's made 2 starts. Jacob deGrom, $37 million. He's made 6 starts. They talked about Cole. We can get to, or deGrom and what he should do going forward. We can get to that later. Garrett Cole, $36 million. He made all 8 starts. He's pretty good. Steven Strasburg, $35 million. He hasn't even towed the slab yet.
Well, if you remember, I had that entire list for you yesterday. Yeah. There's a list out there. I can't remember I can look it up so you guys can look. There's an entire list out there of players, what they're making this year, how much they've either been hurt or they're far underperforming their career level. And the amount of money goes into hundreds of millions. Because these guys, I mean, think about it. Top 2 guys on that list, that's $43 million and $43 million. When you start adding up all the guys making $30 million and underperforming, and it's a long list, it adds up to hundreds of millions of dollars where you're going, what are the teams doing? But getting back to having guys try and pitch at max effort on every pitch every single time they come out, it definitely is not sustainable. Mason Miller now going to get a second opinion on his elbow. We see guy after guy after guy, Tommy John surgery, problem with the shoulder. Now we talk about the scapula all the time. We have injuries at a record pace right now. And once again, we're pitching guys less often, less amount of pitches, and everybody makes excuses for why we're doing this. Pitch them less, pay them more, yet they still can't stay healthy.
Yeah, another one today, Drew Rasmussen of the Rays on the 60-day injured list with a flexor strain.
Already a Tommy John guy.
Yeah.
And they have babied him through the years, and here he is hurt again.
And they already lost Jeffrey Springs, who was looking like the front runner for the AL Cy Young earlier this year, and he's out with Tommy John surgery.
That's something we're going to have to talk to David Force about next time on the David Force Show. It's like, hey, listen, how do you protect these guys? Because your strategy of not throwing them that much and trying to not throw them, but when you want them out there, you want them balls to the wall with everything they got. It's not working. It's not working. It's clearly not working. We'll talk to Dave Stewart about that because Dave's so great to talk about that because he's been everything. Not only has he been a pitcher, obviously, he's been a general manager. He's been an assistant general manager. So he knows about signing guys. He knows about, plans to protect guys. And let's not forget the success that he had as a pitching coach with the Padres, where he was a part of the team for the 98 World Series where he was the pitching coach. So Dave Stewart has done everything in this business. So the strategy, I want you to know that it was nice that what we've been telling you, trying to educate you, and as we're trying to educate ourselves, really backed up today by some big wigs in our game on MLB Network, which is the network that covers our game, that talked about everything we've been talking about. It felt pretty good to watch that, to go, you know what? We've been doing it for a while. Kind of validates some of the things that we've been doing here on this show. For
sure. And the one thing, I don't know if you mentioned it because I was waiting to see what we're doing with the player. Velocity's tripled over the last 3 years.
Yeah, we
19 to 2022, velocity has tripled. The guys that throw over 100 miles an hour has tripled since 2019.
We are more addicted to velocity than ever before in the history of the game.
The radar gun. That's what Dan O'Dowd was talking about.
And I'll tell you what it reminds me of? It reminds me of concussions in football. We say we care about concussions in football, and we say we're trying to make the game safer, but the reality is it is what it is. And do we really care about concussions in football? So we can say that we care about our pitchers. We can say it, but the reality is we want them to go out there and throw it full max every single pitch. And when you get hurt, they go, whatever, Tommy John wins the next guy. When is the next guy? You might know this guy. He is a 3-time World Series champion. He's an Oakland A's Hall of Famer. He's done everything in this game. General manager, assistant general manager, pitching coach, you name it. Soon to be owner in this game. An incredible baseball life. How are you?
I'm doing all right, man. How about you?
Doing well. Good to see you.
It's good to see you.
How is, by the way, everything going with your project with Nashville?
You know, unfortunately, when the A's made the announcement that they were going to Vegas, things started to really speed up in Nashville. You're hearing a little bit more about it out of the commissioner's office now, surfacing more to be, the top team for expansion. And, we've been working on this, Tony, for 4 years, actually going on 5 years there, developing the brand, the name, the Nashville Stars, and forming our partnerships. And over the last 2 years, I've been doing a lot of meetings at the commissioner's office, learning the do's and the don'ts and how we can make this process smoother for the commissioner's office as well as for our organization. And I think that things are going as well as they could possibly be this early on in the game. And, now we just have to wait and see what happens with Tampa. Quite frankly, it seems like we still have to see what happens with the A's.
Yeah, no doubt.
And then, and then we can figure out where we go from there. But right now, I'm very optimistic about our opportunity to be an expansion team and the team be named the Nashville Stars.
You're one of the few humans to ever play, front office, coach, be an agent, and now look at ownership. It's like you've now truly, it's hard to see the entire game like that. Most people, it just doesn't work that way. Now that you're really seeing the ownership side, I know at one point you had a team together, you guys were trying to buy the Marlins, but you've now seen it from every single side. What is it like to look into baseball as Dave Stewart now when you've seen it from every facet?
I think that, everything works for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. When I started out as a player, I just wanted to play baseball one day at a time and turn one day into a year and turn 1 year into another year. And eventually that turned into 16 years. Then after that, thank goodness I had a relationship with Walter Haas and Sandy Alderson. I had an opportunity to go from the player to an executive and learn from that side. And, becoming a player agent and eventually becoming a general manager and looking at the real sport from the inside put me in a position that eventually I wanted to be an owner. And so, I just want to be able to continue to be involved in baseball. But I think I have an idea. I mean, we're talking about 51% Black ownership. We're focused on the diverse equity and inclusion. And so that means that we, in my belief, will present something in baseball that has never happened. We'll have decision makers in our offices that, represent every nationality of people and every race and every color. And I believe that the way you make great decisions is by having well-rounded input. And that's the design for the Nashville Stars.
Yeah, historic, no doubt about it when it happens. And I just think that, when Sandy Koufax was teaching you that forkball, you weren't thinking about being an owner and making history and doing all of this back then?
Probably if I'd have been thinking about it then, I wouldn't have made it as far as I did in the game. It's just been step by step. You take your first step and then you look at the next step. And, the opportunity in Arizona, thank goodness for Tony La Russa at that time. When I left there, I knew at that time that I could put together a baseball team and put together at least baseball operations because that was my job. And now, I want to look past that and see if I have it in me to put together an entire organization. And that's my challenge, and I look forward to it.
All right, let's put you have so many hats that you've worn. That's why it's fascinating to have you on the program. Let's put the GM/pitching coach hat on, because they finally did it today on MLB Network, where they really delve into a thing that we've been talking a lot about, going how we're dealing with pitching. It doesn't work. It just doesn't work. It's not sustainable. having starters come out and throw like closers right out of the gate, we have just seen the rash of injuries. They can't go as much. They can't throw as many innings. Then it affects your bullpen. It makes your bullpen throw more innings. And you would think, like, we're going to pitch them less. We're going to have more pitches. That should keep them healthy, right? No, it's not.
It doesn't.
What do we do, or how do we change? We're so addicted to velocity, but the problem is the human body, these guys' bodies can't take it.
Well, velocity is good. I mean, we were always taught in the Dodgers organization, and I'll always say this. As a matter of fact, I was talking to Jim Hill last night doing an interview for KTLA.
Yeah, legend.
Yeah, and when I was talking to Jim, what I will always say is that fundamentally, the Dodger brand of baseball in my period of time, there was no better way to learn to play the game. Tommy Lasorda, the Dodgers organization, felt that 800 innings were the amount of innings that would qualify you to be ready to pitch in the major leagues. And so the answer in some cases may be less pitches, depending on the body and the physical makeup of a pitcher. But I believe that to be successful in this game, you have to learn all aspects of the game, and velocity plays at a certain time. If you have an opportunity to strike somebody out, you go for the strikeout. But I never threw a four-seam fastball after the sixth inning. And the purpose for that is because you want to complete games. You want to get deep in the game. And so you pitch for contact. You pitch for soft contact. Command of your fastball, both sides of the plate. Pitching on the plate and pitching off the plate inside. Pitching on the plate and pitching off the plate away. Utilizing the top of the zone. You see very little of that in this day and time. And so the art of pitching has actually left the game more for throw as hard as you can for as long as you can. And that here lately is equaling 4 or 5 innings, and it's killing your bullpens. And so the game has to revert back to teaching the art of pitching, teaching players, pitchers, how to think in situations, what you should be pitching for in situations, executing pitches versus throwing pitches, pitching for the outside part of the plate. What I liked about the kid last night that pitched for us last night in his second start in the big leagues,
Medina,
is that he displayed an art of pitching. This is a high-velocity kid. Now, I don't know where that came from. I saw him in spring training, and if you ask me in spring training, I say this kid is a thrower. But last night he was able to get through 6 innings because he mixed his pitches up. He had low strikeouts. He didn't have a bunch of strikeouts, which he has the stuff to do that. But he pitched 6 full innings. In my opinion, he gave up 3 runs, but I thought it was a quality start for him. But the key to it is moving the ball around, changing speeds. That's what pitching is, and that art has been lost in baseball.
Yeah, we have interns here that were born in 2000. We need to explain. When you start the game and you finish the game as a pitcher, it's called a complete game. You can look it up on Google. You can see it. He was talking about a complete, because these kids, they have no idea. I mean, when you said pitching after the 6th inning, they went, what is that allowed? Yes, pitchers can do that. By the way, only 5 complete games so far this season for Major League Baseball. Of course, the A's last year didn't even have one. That is tough. I want to get your mindset. When I looked at the numbers today, we know the A's bullpen, we know the A's starting staff, it's been a struggle. The A's are last in ERA. They've given up the most home runs as a staff. They've given up the most walks. Their bullpen has led the world in walks. To me, there's the physical part and there's the mindset. If we brought you in, pitching coach Dave Stewart, and say, can't give up all these home runs, you can't be walking all these guys, it's a recipe for disaster. How would you change something as we're kind of into the third of the season? What would you do?
Well, it really just reverts back to, what I just originally said. You can't be worried about strikeouts. You have to be worried about getting out. That's the art of the game. The art of the game is getting out. Strikeouts are a product of getting a guy deep into a count. If you get a guy 0-2, 1-2, then a strikeout is probably inevitable, and you should make an attempt to do that. But when you get to 2-2, which has always been taught to me, now what's important is to get out, not waste your time with a lot of pitches. I think also that a pitching staff and has to take on the identity of the guy that's leading it. I witnessed that with the San Diego Padres in 1998. I was a guy that pounded strike zone hard on the inside part of the plate, and I demanded that from my pitchers. And if you weren't capable of doing that, then I'm going to get guys here that can do it. But at the same time, this is a different staff. They're a young staff. They haven't had a lot of minor league innings. And so you're going to have to be a teacher here at the big league level while these guys are learning to pitch at the big league level. It's multitasking at this point for the pitching coach here, Emo. But these guys at this level, when you compete on the outside part of the plate the majority of the time, it's going to be a tough task to get hitters out. You have to be hard on the inside part of the plate. Sandy Koufax, once again, you hear me say his name 1,000 times, said, Stu, always pitch to the short side of the bat. And that's how I learned to pitch. Pitching on the inside part of the plate, not giving these big hitters a chance to get their arms out.
Get the barrel out there.
Make them afraid, because hitters would much rather hit on the fat than to break a bat. That's for sure. And so at this point with this young staff, you're going to have to put on your professor's hat. You're going to have to do classrooms. They're getting out here early anyway. So instead of spending time in the food room, let's spend time in the room with the chalkboard, and let's learn how to do your job. And it's never too late for that. These guys haven't had that opportunity. They haven't been able to master it to this point. The ERA shows it. What they're doing in the league shows it. And so you bring them back to the drawing board, and you have lessons with them. Talk to them about counts. Talk to them about what to recognize in a hitter's swing. Teach them everything that they need to know to help them be successful. But I think the most important part of pitching is putting fear in a hitter. And the only way you do that is by pitching inside.
Man, you take that cap like you did and you put it down and you have that stare.
Yep.
You knew what you were doing back then.
You know what? I learned what I was doing. I didn't know it right away. I learned it.
That is true, too. It's like we always think of you, look how many years he won 20 games. It took you a while to be that guy.
It did.
You had to take your lumps.
You did. I did have to take my lumps. I did have to learn my lessons. But, while you're learning your lessons, learn your lessons. And what I mean by that is, while you're out there and you're making mistakes, try to remember the mistakes that you made so that your next start, you're in between, when you're doing your bullpen work, you can work on those things and you make those things better. If you're out there and you make mistakes and the next game you go out and you make another mistake, you make the same mistake and you continuously make the same mistakes, then you're not growing. And you're not going to last in this league if you're not growing.
As a guy that grew up right around the corner from this place, a guy who starred here, was a world champion here, you were an all-star here, and then now to come back and to do television and to still walk around. I mean, it's one thing when you go to the studio. What's it like for you retiring your jersey? That was so special last year. You're an A's Hall of Famer. You're an Oakland kid. When you walk around on the fans and they yell Stu and what is that like?
It's a reminder to me that, when I met Roy Campanella and Don Newcomb coming into the Dodgers organization in 1975, and
Vero Beach, Florida.
Vero Beach, and spending time with Davey Lopes and Bert Hooton and Reggie Smith and Dusty Baker, and then later on having an opportunity to meet Hank Aaron and Bob Gibson and Sandy. Obviously, I can never forget him. But when those types of things happen here for me at this ballpark, for that matter, when I'm walking down the street, it means that I did exactly what those guys did for me. They paid it forward to me, and they told me to respect the game. And if you respect the game, you'll always be rewarded. And I'm 66 years old, and it still happens for me here at this ballpark. My number is hanging up on the rafters up there.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it's an unreal feeling when you're driving along the freeway and you look over and you see that hanging up there. It's just unreal. And I appreciate the guys before me who groomed me for this moment in my life.
Well, support Dave Stewart also from a standpoint. People can pick up merch for the Nashville Stars. Is that correct?
That's
Let's
right.
sell some merch here on A's
That's
Cast
right.
Live.
That's right. If I could say it, MusicCityBaseball.com.
Help the guy out. Get a little merch going
MLB Music City.
Well, I'll see you a little bit later on A's Pregame Live.
Pre and post, my man.
This is an A's legend, an Oakland legend right here. I hope someday, after you get everything with Nashville done, that they'll truly do a documentary on your life, a baseball life, because you've done everything.
Yeah, you know me, Tony. I'll probably shy away from that. But, my good friend just passed away. And if, when my time comes, if people remember me in that way, then that'll be good for me.
Yeah, we thank you for coming on when Vida passed. That meant a lot to a lot of A's fans.
Thank you.
All right, we'll see you in just a little bit. A's legend Dave Stewart. We got more coming up next right here on A's Cast Live.
This is Chris Townsend. There are two things that are a must for me: comfort and style. Whether I'm playing golf, going to dinner, I've got to have the right feel. That's why I've partnered with Linksole, and you're going to love Linksole. They have just released their new spring line, new fabrics for their polos, lightweight and perfect for technical performance. Linksole also has new styles for their layers and hoodies with cool prints and seasonal colors. You know what they say in the big leagues: look good, play good. Go to linksole.com. That's linksole.com.
Chevron with Techron has unbeatable engine cleaning power, and it gives you unbeatable mileage for all kinds of unbeatable destinations, like time in the sun at the beach, or time in the sun riding roller coasters, or a day in the sun hiking mountains. Well, probably just one mountain would be enough for a day, but hiking a mountain is still an unbeatable choice for how to spend time. Download the Chevron app now to get unbeatable mileage at locations near you.
This is Chris Townsend, and if you're looking for a great place to eat and watch games, go see my friends at the Chicken Pie Shop at Walnut Creek. The Chicken Pie Shop is one of the hottest restaurants in Walnut Creek. You're not going to find a better menu, and come try their world-famous chicken pie that has been served in Southern California for 86 years. Spacious indoor and outdoor dining, perfect for your next private party or corporate event. Don't forget free parking. For more information, go to chickenpieshopwc.com. That's chickenpieshopwc.com.
If you're looking for a new mattress, Nest Bedding has you covered. Sleep on the same mattress Hall of Famer Ricky Henderson sleeps on. Nest Bedding is the #1 brand of online mattresses and the Bay Area's favorite mattress store. Take home the Easy Breather pillow. The New York Times calls it their #1 pick. You can navigate their easy-to-use website, nestbedding.com. That's nestbedding.com. Green and Gold fans, use the coupon code Oakland and you get 10% off your entire order. Nest Bedding, love where you sleep.
Thanks to the Xfinity 10G network, my little brother's friends won't leave our house. When I was their age, internet with basically no interruptions was a pipe dream.
You sound like my grandpa.
Now through April 23rd, new customers can get 200 megabit Xfinity internet during our limited time Xfinity 10G network launch celebration for just $25 a month for 2 years. Go to Xfinity.com/10G, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Taxes and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply to internet service and devices. Actual speeds vary.
Hey, Billy, this deck is great for getting everyone together.
Thanks. We're really enjoying the outdoor space, especially on a day like today.
What's the material?
Humboldt Redwood from Ashby Lumber. They gave us a great deal, provided us with a quick quote, and we couldn't be happier. We even found a great contractor through their online contractor directory.
Don't miss a day outdoors. Visit Ashby Lumber in Berkeley or Concord to see our stock of naturally strong, naturally beautiful Humboldt Redwood. Find out more at ashbylumber.com for all your building needs. Ashby Lumber.
Innovation is at the core of Cal State East Bay, like at our Green Biome Institute, where faculty and students preserve genetic information from California's endangered plants, or how we open doors for local entrepreneurs at our Small Business Development Center. From educators to nurses to STEM professionals, Cal State East Bay has real impact throughout the region's neighborhoods, boardrooms, and the entire economy. Be part of the innovation. Connect with Cal State East Bay at csueastbay.edu/impact.
Bring the whole family out to the ballpark for this Friday night showdown on May 26th. Come see your A's take on the Houston Astros, then head down to the field to see the best fireworks in the Bay Area. So get ready to enjoy a one-of-a-kind pop through the decades post-game fireworks show.
Throws and it's swung and hit to right field, deep in the corner, and that's going to be gone, and it's back to back to back.
Grab your seats today at athletics.com/fireworks. That's athletics.com/fireworks. Baseball season is officially here, and there's no better time to build your collection of Topps trading cards. Topps packs feature everything from top stars, rookies, game-used memorabilia, and autographs from players around the league, as well as special inserts and surprises. Visit your local hobby shop, retailers, and Topps.com to collect the first product of the season, Topps Series 1 Baseball. Follow @Topps on social media to join the conversation and start sharing your collection today.
Humanity has accomplished a whole lot so far. We created penicillin, the automobile, and the internet, not to mention drones, duct tape, and the hot dog. It's all thanks to the power of human connections. And Ring Central's here to make that even easier, more seamlessly and securely, on a platform built to grow your business. Say hello to a whole new way to say hello. Visit ringcentral.com and say hello to possibilities. Ring Central. Message, video, phone, together.
When Northern California businesses need some pop in their lineup, they call the bank rooted in the East Bay, Mechanics Bank. Since 1905, Mechanics Bank has been helping Bay Area and Northern California businesses find success and perform at the top of their game. See how they can make a difference in your business today. Call or stop by your local branch or visit mechanicsbank.com. Mechanics Bank, the official East Bay bank of the Oakland A's. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Streaming from the Treehouse, A's Cast Live continues with Chris Townsend.
So what do you think, Dallas? Be rolling around like this today?
Yeah, you got that in the bag.
Yeah.
You got
like
that, no pun intended. You've got that club in the bag.
Sunday, we're giving this out.
Yeah. I've got
belt bag.
I've got 4 squared away. Off the top of my head, I've got 4, at least 4 squared away.
You know what the best thing about this thing is?
I'm going to go with the is there multiple pockets? Just one pocket, maybe multiple pockets inside. You tell me what you think is the best.
My wife's getting this for Mother's Day.
Hey, that's why I said get 4, right? Grandma check, wife check, 2 little girls, boom.
Hey, honey, look what I got for you for Mother's Day.
And the socks. That's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, well, you know, here's my running joke, and everybody gets a little uncomfortable when I say this, but I always go, Mother's Day. She's not my mother.
Wow. Yeah. No, you are on an island. No bridge here, buddy.
Am I by myself on that one?
1,000%.
It's not my mother. I mean,
1,000%.
That's you kids.
No.
Nope. Well, then I got here. The backup is I got the belt bag that we're giving away on Sunday. Why are you uncomfortable talking about the perfect game?
I don't know.
No one's ever asked you that. That's why you come on A's Cast Live, because I don't do generic questions. You're uncomfortable about it. Why?
I think ultimately it's because I've always believed that stuff like that is reserved for legend. Like, I mean, you got a dude over your shoulder right now who is a 4-year, 20 game, like, right? Member of the Black
Three-time
Aces,
World Series champion.
I mean, 3-time champion.
Three-time.
That's what, like, those who honestly, I do. That's who that kind of stuff is reserved for, right? Not me. And so I think always having thought about that, and when you hear the stories about cool stuff like that happening, it's because the players are legendary, and so that's how I've always kind of viewed it, and I think maybe that's why I appreciate what that one game has done for my entire life.
Oh yeah,
and like I'll never at any point try to downplay that, right? Like I'd be a complete ignorant fool to try to actually tell you that no. Like if you just look beyond that, everything no, stop it. So I fully appreciate what that moment and what that game has meant to me. And I think maybe because I do think that it has had such an impact that I don't know. It almost feels like something personal, and not that I'm not willing to talk about or share anything personal. It's always perspective that I never really have. Like that, Townie, that's a jarring question.
Yeah, right out of the gate too. It's like first hole of on a golf course, the hardest hole of the golf course. Like, what? We got to play this par 5 now? Well, and one of the reasons why I bring it up is because whenever we have that day, it brings up all the memories for all of us. Like for me, my memories of that day was you're thinking, okay, I've got to do Mother's Day. My mother-in-law was still alive at the time. And here I am. I've got full bank of calls.
Mm-hmm.
And I did like a 3-hour post-game show. My wife's calling going, we have to go to my mother's house. She's got no idea. I don't even think my wife knows what a perfect game is. She's got no idea. I'm like, you don't understand. This was like a really big deal. I did like a 3-hour post-game show, showed up late for Mother's Day.
I'm sorry.
We all have a story about like that day was for like everybody because we were all involved.
And that is why like I'll never be able to fully explain that to folks, and that's why I'm so thankful. And I look forward to coming to the ballpark every day. And I have no problem saying it. Why? Because I'm spoiled. I'm lucky. I get to run into somebody each and every day who's been waiting to share that story with me. Right.
But your story too just wasn't a game because the next day you're on Good Morning America. You and your grandmother. How many talk shows did you guys do?
She did. She probably did. I'm not kidding. She probably did 6 or. Stu, how you doing, sir? Great to see you.
Dave Stewart. It's Dave Stewart.
I'm
doing TV with him today.
It never.
People ask me, they go, because you got to think for like our generation, when he was doing everything he was doing, I was in high school, right?
Yeah.
The A's, when I was in high school, the A's were going to 3 straight World Series. I mean, Jose Canseco was larger than life. You already knew Ricky Henderson was an all-time great. So it's like people ask me, like every single time I'm doing TV, I'm like, that's Dave Stewart.
Yeah. Well, I
mean, it's Dave Stewart. Like for our generation, Dave Stewart was the big game hunter.
When he just, and he just pops in, right? Yeah. Because he looks at you and I like we're friends. Like I love the fact that I can call Dave Stewart on the telephone. He's going to pick up the telephone. That just, that is just weird to me. It's never lost on me, but it's weird to me because again, just going back to what we were talking about, that's a legend, man.
I was taking pictures of these guys at fantasy camp, and I'm standing in the back, and all the, you see all the pictures are just looking at you and Dave. And I went up and I took this picture and I went, how badass is that? Is you got you, Dave Stewart, and these campers hanging on every word. I went, this is what A's fantasy camp is.
Well, and that's what's so cool about those moments is because I always get to just sort of put it on a T for Stu, because I know that, each and every one of those sets of eyeballs is locked in on what he's about to say, some funny story. He's about to bury somebody, probably me. And it's such a, you just wipe away whatever you're going through in those moments, right? For that week or whatever that you're getting to spend with guys like Dave Stewart, guys like Shooty, guys like Carney and Steiny. And it brings the word fantasy to the forefront, because it is that's not reality. It's a fantasy to have Dave Stewart reach in and shake your hand. Yeah. Hey, see you later, man. Catch up to you soon.
Well, one of the things I think we all respect about your careers, I think people need to understand, is you had to earn everything, right? As you mentioned, the Texas Tech. I don't know where you're even going with that all the time, but it wasn't like you were the number. Yeah, shoot your guns. They love to shoot their guns. Red Raiders. It wasn't like you were the number one recruit in the country. You had to earn your way there.
Yeah.
Just for 2 years. And then you were there 2 years, right?
At Texas Tech?
Yeah.
1 year, just 1 year. 2 years at junior college.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you went community college, as we call it now. Community college, 1 year. So it's like, to think your route, you had to earn everything you get. I think that's why everybody has so much respect, because you weren't hey, here's the number one prospect, you're 10th rated by MLB.com. You didn't have all that.
No, and I was very fortunate enough to come up in the area that I came up in, growing up in Stockton, going to junior college in Sacramento, eventually making my way back to Oakland. Those are 3 pretty tough areas to come through and to grow up in. But when you talk about iron sharpening iron, for the folks who are a part of these communities, we are blue collar. We are hard scrabble. Like, we know how to get down. We know how to roll the sleeves up and turn the hat around and get to work. And that's just how you go about your business. And so to think that, things aren't going great today, and to let that derail you, we just don't have that in our DNA around these parts. That's just not how we do it.
All right, so I've talked a lot about it on the post-game show. I mean, probably, and on Ace Cast Live, this show, we were talking about to start the program today. We've been doing it for over a year. Finally, MLB Now today did a whole thing on it. When Bob Costas is a part of it, not me, people probably listen. But I've been saying velocity's killing this game.
Oh.
We're having starting pitchers act like closers. We're having guys full max every single pitch, and the human body can't take it. We're seeing less starts, less innings, more pressure on the bullpen. It's been at a tipping point probably more than ever right now. We've got a problem in our game. We've been chasing velocity so much. The human beings, their bodies can't take it. We never talked scapulas back in the day. We're talking about stuff we never talked about before because just the pursuit to throw as hard as we possibly can, more throwing, less pitching. There's a problem. I don't know what to do.
The word is maximization. And when you think about, I mean, look, we live in a capitalistic society. We are trying to maximize everything, right?
Yeah.
And so if I am looking to get paid as an amateur right out of the draft, what do I have to do? I have to light up the radar gun if I'm a pitcher, right? Because that's margin for error, that's projectability. Sustainability is not even a question, which is really a good thing if you're a young kid, honestly. When we're talking about the injuries that are almost inevitable, right, the way folks are speaking about them, well, if that's the case, then I'd like to be able to maximize early. And whether or not I can sustain that or not doesn't really seem to be a worry or a concern from the industry. So let me max out early. Let me get that paycheck early if that's the way it goes. And then from there, organizationally, when you get into professional ranks, you start talking about maximizing your resources. What does that mean? That means allowing these arms to do what they do best. That's step on the gas, rip the slide piece, and do it until the wheels, what, Townie? Fall off.
Which is like, we're all pitch until you get hurt. And
Hey,
then
man.
if you can come back, good luck. If not, it's a conveyor belt of the next guy up.
Well, that's why the guys that learn how to pace themselves, and when I say pace themselves, I don't mean just effort level. I mean understanding when to put a little on it, when to not, pitchability, and understanding that is how I get through 5, 6. I can't believe I'm even starting at 5 these days.
Yeah.
But that is how you get through, 6, 7, 8th inning. And I've always talked about, finishing a baseball game is a learned behavior. And you're watching Nathan Eovaldi, not Eovaldi, Nathan Eovaldi go out, and his last 3 outings have been phenomenal. But you're watching a guy who understands how to get deep into those ball games and how to finish those ball games, right? Just 1 out away. But it's a crime to see the talent that we have in this game at times go down the slope that it goes down when it comes to injury. But I always go back to maximization, and organizations are maxing out their resources and talent. The amateur players are trying to maximize their paycheck before they get to the big leagues. And I don't think you can fault or blame really any group.
Well, let's talk about fellow lefty right here coming up, Sammy Spin Rate.
Oh, this is pure entertainment.
Huh?
This is pure entertainment for me. When you know that this dude's number's getting dialed up, I literally make a noise. Sammy Spin Rate, because it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
He tried to sell us that he didn't know his spin rates.
I mean, he might be selling wolf tickets is what he might be selling.
I wasn't a buy. So we said to Scott Emmer. Well, Scott Emmer said Scott Emmer is PR for the Sharks. Scott Emmer said he knows the spin rate.
Oh yeah. Don't let Sammy boy. Come on, he might be a slow lefty, just kind of trying to slow play it, but that ain't the case, because that's 94 with some.
Well, I'll be talking to you. I'll be handing it off to you. I'm doing NBC again today.
Nice. Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to it. We got the legend as well. We got a great matchup tonight. A couple southpaws. I'm ready for it.
They always ask, like, what do you want to – I wish I could talk to you about it, because they always say, well, what do you want to ask him? I'm like, well, what do you want me to throw to you? What do you want me to ask you?
I want you to – I mean, look, you put it on a tee early, question 1 right out of the gate
today. I can't
today.
do that on TV. They'd be freaking out. You can't do that. You can't question. Like, what do you – it's a softball. What do you want for me to throw you on TV today?
Well, see, as a good color analyst, I always try to defer to my partner, because they're the ones steering the ship, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that's probably the better way to go.
Well, I always throw it to the partner knowing he's going to throw it to you. So what subject would you like me to start off with?
I mean, look, I love the art of pitching, but I think we have a lot of exciting things, a lot of a lot of bright spots that we can hit on when it comes to our lineup right now as well. So really, I mean, you want to talk about getting on base? We got a few guys that can do that, right? You want to talk about driving the baseball? We got a few guys that can do that right now. You want to talk about guys that can play defense? I think we're seeing that. So really, Townie, it's just all about what kind of flavor you're looking for.
On base. You want to get Sam in here now? Let's get him.
Yeah,
bring
come
him
on.
in now.
Get the lefty in here.
Bring him in now. Sammy spin rate.
I can hand the ball off to the left.
You can hand it off from one lefty to another. Say goodbye. The great Dallas Braden, who you'll see on NBC Sports California. Well, how are you? Good to see you again.
Good to see you. How are you?
Welcome. Have you been to the Treehouse before?
First time.
What do you think?
It's beautiful.
Hey,
It's beautiful.
When you guys are on the field, you guys have no idea this exists.
No, just see guys with a few beers in their hands. That's about it. Yeah.
This is what this is why people like to come up here. It's a great spot to come up, watch games. The Warrior game will be on up here. So people like to come here. So how's everything going for you so far this season?
Good. You know, feel like I'm doing pretty decent. Had a couple hiccups in the road, but, you know, that's baseball. So just try to keep your head down and continue to work and, you know, try to help encourage guys around us. And that's about all I can do.
You know, it's so interesting when you are a reliever in Major League Baseball. As you say, there's going to be some hiccups. But whatever that hiccup is, you got to let go because – there's a good chance you're in the very next day.
100%.
Tell us how you don't dwell on things. You got to let the bad stuff go.
Exactly, and for me that's a hard thing because I feel like I'm so invested in baseball. You know, it's kind of my somewhat identity right now. You know, as a lot of guys say, it may not be, but for me, I'm just very passionate about baseball. So that is the hardest part, is trying to let go. And sometimes, you know, it might be a hard night's sleep. And wake up and try to reset. But, you know, everyone's human. Everyone's got hiccups. So it's just the process of life and kind of the same thing with baseball. So you have to learn how to adapt to that and just take another step the next day.
With the way this season's going, you really could be called upon at any time, right? It's not going to be like, well, in the 8th inning, I start to loosen up. I mean, really, you could get the call. It's 6th, it's 7th. So when you get ready for a game and you walk out to the bullpen, how do you keep your mind? How do you keep relaxed? How do you keep loose? How do you go about a game knowing you really have no clue when you're going to come in or get the call?
It's a little bit tougher now, being a little more established. I may have, you know, somewhat more of a role, but again, you never know. So for me, it's, you know, I always have my plyo bands and my plyo balls and just continue to stay loose. Once that 5th inning hits, you know, it's going to locker rooms over, getting locked in, getting stretched out, and then just, you know, my trick is to look down towards the dugout where I can see Emo walking to the phone, and I don't even need to look to Mike over there. So, and then, you know, and then obviously the adrenaline hits right there. The nerves take a little bit over, and you just kind of, your heart rate goes up, and you just get going, and you know, then it's, here we go.
Yeah, I try and tell everybody all the time on this show, is like, hey, when you're a bullpen guy, you don't got time to run the poles, play long toss. It's like get up, go. You got to be ready. A lot of people say 8 pitches. What is it for you when you get up on the mound in the bullpen for them to relay, hey, he's ready to go? How long does it take you to get loose?
For me, it's different. I just need about 5, 6, 7 crow hops off the mound, and then I could be ready for the game. Obviously, I would like more than that. But if you know, times are tough, you know, for what's happening in the inning, I would feel ready. So it's pretty quick, but, you know, it's obviously feel the situation. But, 7 crow hops, 8 crow hops, and then hopefully get the catcher down and get going, you know. Thankfully, that hasn't happened yet, but that would be, you know, extenuating circumstances.
It's so funny because pitchers want to – I want to have this feel. I want to have these – you don't have, it's get up and go and let's get this thing rocking.
Yeah, that's somewhat of the unfortunate part. You don't have that starter routine where, like, I can kind of lock this pitch in or lock that pitch in or feel this and feel that. It's, you know, hey, I've got what I got right now and I've got to take it to the game and go compete.
Some guys focus on their catcher when they're getting loose, and as you said, it's going to be 6, 7, 8 pitch, whatever. Do you turn around, especially with the bullpens here in Oakland or on the field, are you looking at the situation? Are you, because sometimes you're just coming in with a clean inning, and other times you're coming in and it's a dumpster fire.
Yeah, a lot of times, well, here it's a lot easier. You don't have to look over a wall. I mean, you just turn around, you see everything. I kind of monitor what's going on.
Yeah.
You have more of a feel, especially playing if you're trying to play a matchup. You know when the lefty's going to come up, that type of situation. But yeah, I always try to monitor what's going on. That way you can determine your effort level of where you need to be as far as readiness. But yeah.
David, ready to rock. Let's get this going. We asked you last time, Sammy spin rate. You liked it. Have you been checking the spin rates? Are we ready to make some jerseys here, some shirts, Sammy spin rates? I mean,
I've kept up with it. Yeah.
All right.
I'd like it to be a little bit higher. So, but no, it's good. So, just continue to spin it, right?
Yeah, and then we're gonna have to get some T-shirts and start doing some Sammy spin rates.
Some merch sales, yeah.
Hey, let's end on this. You're now a veteran guy, right? You're a veteran guy. We're going to see a lot. I mean, we're already seeing a lot of players. We're going to see a lot more players. How much have you taken guys under your wing to kind of help them out, learn their ways here in the big leagues, especially this year?
There's been a couple guys that, you can, it's not that I actively just walk up to and address them with, if it's a concern or if they need any help, just try to feel the situation out. Obviously, like you said, there's been guys coming in and out.
Yeah.
And so that can be tougher because you just get to meet someone and you wouldn't want to have, you don't even have an impression of them yet. So, you try to get to know them a little bit and then see how they operate. And, if you can help them or they have questions and be very receptive to their situation, it's obviously super subjective to individuals, but just try to, get to know the person as best you can. And if you can help in any way, I'll try to do that as well.
Great stuff.
Yep.
We always appreciate having you.
Thank you.
Treehouse, not a bad
Here
place.
Here we go.
Someday when you're not playing, come up and I'll buy you a beer.
All righty, let's do it.
Coming up next, we got the manager of your Oakland Athletics, Mark Kotsay, right here on A's Cast Live.
With more sunshine returning, it's time to get outside and make the most of what Cinnabar Hills Golf Club has to offer, like 27 championship caliber holes tucked in the beautiful hills of San Jose. And take advantage of their amazing Bay Area views for your next special event. It's all for you at Cinnabar Hills Golf Club, an award-winning venue designed to peacefully take you away from the bustle of Silicon Valley. Go to CinnabarHills.com. That's CinnabarHills.com. This is Chris Townsend. There are two things that are a must for me: comfort and style. Whether I'm playing golf, going to dinner, I've got to have the right feel. That's why I've partnered with Linksole, and you're going to love Linksole. They have just released their new spring line, new fabrics for their polos, lightweight and perfect for technical performance. Linksole also has new styles for their layers and hoodies with cool prints and seasonal colors. You know what they say in the big leagues: look good, play good. Go to linksole.com. That's linksole.com.
If you're looking for a great place to eat and watch games, go see our friends at the Chicken Pie Shop of Walnut Creek. The Chicken Pie Shop is one of the hottest restaurants in Walnut Creek. You're not going to find a better menu, and come try their world-famous chicken pie that has been served in Southern California for 86 years. Spacious indoor and outdoor dining, perfect for your next private party or corporate event. Don't forget free parking. For more information, go to chickenpieshopwc.com. That's chickenpieshopwc.com.
Chevron with Techron has unbeatable engine cleaning power, and it gives you unbeatable mileage for all kinds of unbeatable destinations, like time in the sun at the beach, or time in the sun riding roller coasters, or a day in the sun hiking mountains. Well, probably just one mountain would be enough for a day, but hiking a mountain is still an unbeatable choice for how to spend time. Download the Chevron app now to get unbeatable mileage at locations near you.
And the underdogs, Oakland Athletics, win their first championship since they were in Philadelphia in 1930.
Hi, I'm Raleigh Fingers, Hall of Famer, three-time World Series champion with the Oakland A's and World Series MVP. Winning takes teamwork, skill, and heart. So when you need an ace for a personal injury lawyer that will win you the game, go with the winning team. Call Venardi Zerata at 833-VZ-FOR-ME or go to vzlawfirm.com. Venardi Serrata, the official injury law firm of the Oakland A's.
Like sports, business is about winning. Championship decisions are business decisions based on what it takes to help your company win. And that's why there's UBO Business Services. specializing in helping you win every day by streamlining workflows, managing documents, and providing the best-in-class office technology. Make your championship decision with UBO Business Services. Visit them at ubeo.com. That's ubeo.com.
Ace fans need Friday night plans? Well, we got you covered. Get 4 tickets and parking for any Friday night game starting at just $49 with the Friday 4-pack presented by Chevrolet. Save big and enjoy great matchups, post-game fireworks and drone shows, giveaways, and more this 2023 season.
He drills one to right, way back, and no doubt. And that quickly, the A's have taken the lead. Second deck.
Friday night tickets are available at athletics.com/value. That's athletics.com/value.
If you're looking for the latest green and gold gear for the 2023 season, then look no further than athletics.com/shop for your officially licensed gear. That's athletics.com/shop.
Innovation is at the core of Cal State East Bay, like at our Green Biome Institute, where faculty and students preserve genetic information from California's endangered plants, or how we open doors for local entrepreneurs at our Small Business Development Center. From educators to nurses to STEM professionals, Cal State East Bay has real impact throughout the region's neighborhoods, boardrooms, and the entire economy. Be part of the innovation. Connect with Cal State East Bay at csueastbay.edu/impact.
Is convenience a state of mind or a real thing? At Extra Mile, it's a real thing, and it's in everything they do. The stores are spacious, organized, clean, and well lit, so you can get in quickly, get what you need, and keep going. It's just what you'd expect from a place serving up the hot and fresh food and snacks you love. So treat you right, and check out Extra Mile's fresh take on the convenience store experience. Extra Mile convenience stores at select Chevron and Texaco locations.
If you're looking for a new mattress, Nest Bedding has you covered. Sleep on the same mattress Hall of Famer Ricky Henderson sleeps on. Nest Bedding is the #1 brand of online mattresses and the Bay Area's favorite mattress store. Take home the Easy Breather pillow. The New York Times calls it their #1 pick. You can navigate their easy-to-use website, nestbedding.com. That's nestbedding.com. Green and Gold fans, use the coupon code Oakland and you get 10% off your entire order. Nest Bedding, love where you sleep.
Streaming from the East Bay, A's Cast Live continues with Chris Townsend.
For the Mark Kotsay Show, brought to you by nestbedding.com. Love where you sleep. Go to nestbedding.com and use the coupon code Oakland to get 10% off your entire order. We're talking about your mattress, your pillows, your bedding. Stores in the Bay Area, same deal. Check out Nest Bedding. You'll love your night's sleep. Of course, this guy sleeps on a Nest Bedding bed.
Did the laundry today, Townie.
Did
the
you?
Sheets. Yep. Pulled the sheets off and, grinded away, getting the house ready. The family's coming up for Mother's Day. So, had to get the house in shape.
People forget about that, but like during the season, you're like a bachelor again. You're on your own. You gotta take care of everything.
Well, bachelor, but without all the running around externally and taking care of the things that you do as a dad and as a husband. And it gets lonely. It does get lonely when you go back there at night and the excitement is watching Ted Lasso or one of the other Apple TV Plus shows.
What's the biggest difference between Mark Kotsay's fridge now as a bachelor versus your fridge at Cal State Fullerton?
Well, the fridge at Cal State Fullerton was full of beers, and the fridge here is empty because I go home literally at, get home around 11:30. I walk in the house, set the backpack down, grab a water, go get in bed, and pretty much crash. Get up in the morning, go to Starbucks, grab a coffee, head to the field or head to this office that we're in. And, so there's not a lot of time spent at home, but this weekend with the family coming in, it was Trader Joe's this morning. It was getting the roses for Mother's Day,
nice. Good job.
Yeah.
Good job. It's funny. It's the first time we're doing this interview in this office because the last time I did any interview in this office, it was with a guy named John Gruden. It was the Raiders head coach office. So we used to do the Bob Melvin show down below. Much better digs. I like you've done a good job with this.
Well, as you can see behind us in some of the family photos, but more so some of the history of this organization and the gentlemen that are on the wall behind me are a reflection of what the heritage is. The tremendous players that have come through here, and it's easy to honor them because they're what we represent and what they stand for with this organization.
It is my job to put a positive spin on a lot of things. I mean, we still got to cover the team, and there's a lot of chaos going on away from the field. There's a lot of stuff going on. And I know for me, for the post-game show after working all day, I'll get hyped up on coffee. Let's go. I have trouble sleeping at night. So I live across the street from a park. I take a walk around the park. I think people need to know you're the same way. It's not easy. I mean, it's you're thinking about this the minute you leave. You're thinking about this. You're thinking about it all night long.
Yeah, no question. I mean, I get in here by 9 a.m. for the 6:40 game. I'm going through, players, profiles, development. The guys that are in the minor leagues. I'm checking in on them because they are part of our future. Yeah. They can impact our future. You never second guess, but if you don't think back through the night before, you don't go through the decisions you make and trying to put these guys in the best, spots for success. And, it's a grind, but it's a grind that I signed up for, and it's a grind that I want to see through. And I'm hopeful that, we can get this thing turned around. There's talent in this locker room. As we talked about, it's difficult to stare at the wins and losses, at this point in the season. There's still a lot of season to play. And in that, I think we need to focus on the guys that can impact this future here. And those are the players like Esteury Ruiz, Ryan Noda, Brent Rooker. I mean, if you think about it, Rook leads two of the major categories offensively.
Massive categories,
so,
yeah.
There's some positives in this clubhouse, and we're going to try to build them and continue to mature them and hopefully get this thing turned around sooner than later.
I love the strategy. We learn together, we'll lose together, but we'll win together. And I think about the way you're doing the lineup right now, where it's Ruiz, Noda, Rooker, Blade, Langoliers. I like the continuity. And I know it's going to switch between righties and lefties and matchups, but against righties, you've been throwing it out there. Just tell me about the continuity of playing these young men together.
Yeah, and you stated it. It's their growth. It's finding a group of players that can assimilate, that can lead us going forward. And it's really the outlook is based on what happened in 2017 when you finally had Matt Olson solidified, Matt Chapman got here, Chad Pinder was already here, Marcus Semien was here. And that group really became the leaders, even though they were young and there was some veteran presence in that clubhouse. They became the leaders and they believed in themselves and they took this thing forward. And I think those names that you just mentioned can do the same. And we're going to teach them the right way, how to play, how to work, how to continually not lose focus on the big picture. Because the short term is difficult and it's a grind, but the reward on the other side, when you go through this grind and you keep the same routines, even though you fail, even though you have success, you want to be that same individual. And this group, I think, has come together and they're starting to do that, every day.
We've talked a lot about Rooker. We've talked a lot about Ruiz. The guy that I want to highlight on, first time I met him down at spring training, we got to talk to him off the air, then did an interview, then off the air, I went, I like Ryan Noda. I like the confidence. There's something about this kid. He's good size. We now see that he can run. He even said to us, talking about confidence, I can win a Gold Glove. And I go, right on. I like that confidence. But he has the ability to know his strike zone, which is not something you see often in young hitters. He's taking more pitches than anybody. His walk rate is unbelievable. All he does is get on base. He's starting to hit for a little bit more pop. That means his OPS is unbelievable. Just talk about what you're seeing from him because he does a lot of mature things for a young guy.
Yeah, he really does. For Node, he came in here new to the organization, a young player that had never been to the big leagues, a Rule 5, draft by us that a player in that situation can be sent back. So there was pressure in spring training on him. That most guys didn't feel in terms of whether he was going to stay with this group or whether he was going to get sent back based on performance through spring. But we knew the player we were targeting, and that's sitting in that locker room right now, based on the AAA performance. And it continues to show itself in terms of the strike zone discipline, in terms of the on base. And when you have that capability, you have an opportunity to stay out of a slump, because when you can take that walk or that, get that mix in that walk for a 4 at-bat night and you're 0 for 3 with a walk, it's better than the 0 for 4 night. And so he's going to continue to do that. We're going to continue to emphasize a little more aggressiveness to pitches. We don't want to take away the discipline, but we also want to see a reduction a little bit in the strikeout looking, which has played a part a little bit in this short season. But I think he's growing as a player right now, and the confidence you talked about is showing itself in the cage. It's showing itself in the locker room in that leadership aspect. So really impressed with what Ryan's been able to do.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into it, more than we just I want to go on Baseball Reference and look at stats. There's just more to that, and watching him grow, I've liked that. You're on the list with J.J. Bleday as former first-round picks by the Marlins.
Yeah.
And I think a really good point about J.J. Bleday, and you're the perfect person to ask, is the fact that when you're the number one pick and everybody knows your signing bonus and there's the pressure and what you're supposed to be for an organization, once you get traded like JJ has been traded, all of that's gone. Like, no one here cares that you were a first-round pick. No one cares what your signing bonus was. How big is that for him that he doesn't have to deal with that anymore? He can just show up now and be J.J. Bleday, the outfielder.
I don't know, Townie. I got to disagree with you. That the label is always carried forward. And when you're a first-round
That
pick,
stuck with you the whole time?
It did. When I got traded to San Diego, I knew my level of expectation. That team acquired me because I had this projection as a first-round pick. And granted, I had 3 seasons under my belt when I got traded to San Diego, but you're always talked about in that aspect. And so for JJ, I think, he understands where he's at, and I think he's handled it great. He's come here with a confidence about him, which, based on last year with the Marlins being, rushed to the big leagues and the performance maybe not aligning with, what the expectation level was. Sure, it gives him a fresh start. But as a first-round pick, you're always carrying that forward. You're always wanting to live up to that expectation. And I sit here today and don't feel I did. Even though I had a 17-year career, I still feel like I was the 9th pick in the country by the Marlins, and I should have performed higher in my career.
I'm glad you say that. We think that all the time. We're like, Kotsay should have been a much better player.
That's right.
Yeah, your stats are. But seriously, on Bleday, though, do you see like, this guy could be an everyday outfielder for us?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's why he was drafted in the first round. He has that ability. You project JJ, as a 20-plus home run guy that can play all 3 outfield positions. He can steal some bases. And we would not have targeted him and made that trade if we didn't feel that and it didn't align. And so him going out and starting to perform the way he has here, having a great first month in AAA, building that confidence, and now seeing him perform, we're hopeful that this continues and that he can solidify a spot in this outfield for years to come.
Let's end on this. I mean, obviously Mason Miller's on the IL now. We know a lot of pitchers going to Tommy John. So many guys are hurt. It's really unbelievable. You've been in this game a long time. It's kind of scary how many guys are getting hurt. I mean, we are pitching guys less often, pitching them less innings, and still not keeping them healthy. How do you worry about your pitching staff?
Well, you worry about them constantly, and it's difficult to understand why they're getting hurt. I don't think there's really enough conclusive evidence, but I always reflect back on how much these kids that get here have thrown in their adolescence through the ages of 10 to 18 years old, how many travel ball teams they played on, what coaches abused them, how often they were throwing a week. And I guarantee you, if you do the research, most of them threw multiple times a week. Most of them didn't keep track of pitch counts, and it's adding up here. And when they get to this point, they've already got a lot of wear and tear on them, on their arms, and we're seeing it now. We're hopeful that Mason, it's not something significant. We're hopeful that it's only the muscle and nothing more. because he does have really, really top-end stuff. And Luis Medina as well. Yeah. This kid threw last night. He did an excellent job. He's got 4-pitch mix. It's our job to teach him how to do things here the right way and teach him how to command the baseball and execute pitches. And we're facing a really good Texas team right now that can hit. They're leading the league in several categories. And for him to go 6 innings and only throw 90 pitches, there's something there.
Well, thank you for allowing us into your office. This is cool.
Yeah, I want everybody to be a part of it. So this is where I work, and I'm hopeful to stay around for a little while.
And have fun with the family, and tell your wife Happy Mother's Day.
I will. Thanks.
That's the Mark Kotsay Show right here on A's Cast and A's Cast Live, brought to you by nestbedding.com. Love where you sleep. Once again, go to nestbedding.com or their locations in the Bay Area. Use the coupon code Oakland to get 10% off your order.
This is Chris Townsend. There are two things that are a must for me: comfort and style. Whether I'm playing golf, going to dinner, I've got to have the right feel. That's why I've partnered with Linksole, and you're going to love Linksole. They have just released their new spring line, new fabrics for their polos, lightweight and perfect for technical performance. Linksole also has new styles for their layers and hoodies with cool prints and seasonal colors. You know what they say in the big leagues: look good, play good. Go to linksole.com. That's linksole.com.
Unbeatable mileage from Chevron with Techron unlocks all kinds of unbeatable trips. Like to family dinner the next town over, or to a family wedding the next town over, or even to a family reunion over the river and through the woods at Grandma's house. Any drive is worth it to see Grandma, especially when you can stop along the way for unbeatable cleaning power from Chevron with Techron. Your engine will be thanking you for making the trip. Download the Chevron app now and find unbeatable mileage near you.
This is Chris Townsend, and if you're looking for a great place to eat and watch games, go see my friends at the Chicken Pie Shop at Walnut Creek. The Chicken Pie Shop is one of the hottest restaurants in Walnut Creek. You're not going to find a better menu, and come try their world-famous chicken pie that has been served in Southern California for 86 years. Spacious indoor and outdoor dining, perfect for your next private party or corporate event. Don't forget free parking. For more information, go to chickenpieshopwc.com. That's chickenpieshopwc.com.
Hey, Billy, this deck is great for getting everyone together. Thanks. We're really enjoying the outdoor space, especially on a day like today. What's the material? Humboldt Redwood from Ashby Lumber. They gave us a great deal, provided us with a quick quote, and we couldn't be happier. We even found a great contractor through their online contractor directory.
Don't miss a day outdoors. Visit Ashby Lumber in Berkeley or Concord to see our stock of naturally strong, naturally beautiful Humboldt Redwood. Find out more at ashbylumber.com for all your building needs. Ashby Lumber.
Humanity has accomplished a whole lot so far. We created penicillin, the automobile, and the internet, not to mention drones, duct tape, and the hot dog. It's all thanks to the power of human connections. And Ring Central's here to make that even easier, more seamlessly and securely, on a platform built to grow your business. Say hello to a whole new way to say hello. Visit ringcentral.com and say hello to possibilities. Ring Central. Message, video, phone, together.
Baseball season is officially here, and there's no better time to build your collection of Topps trading cards. Topps packs feature everything from top stars, rookies, game-used memorabilia, and autographs from players around the league, as well as special inserts and surprises. Visit your local hobby shop, retailers, and Topps.com to collect the first product of the season, Topps Series 1 Baseball. Follow @Topps on social media to join the conversation and start sharing your collection today.
If you're looking for a new mattress, Nest Bedding has you covered. Sleep on the same mattress Hall of Famer Ricky Henderson sleeps on. Nest Bedding is the #1 brand of online mattresses and the Bay Area's favorite mattress store. Take home the Easy Breather pillow. The New York Times calls it their #1 pick. You can navigate their easy-to-use website, nestbedding.com. That's nestbedding.com. Green and Gold fans, use the coupon code Oakland and you get 10% off your entire order. Nest Bedding, love where you sleep.
Thanks to the Xfinity 10G network, my little brother's friends won't leave our house. When I was their age, internet with basically no interruptions was a pipe dream.
You sound like my grandpa. Now through April 23rd, new customers can get 200 megabit Xfinity internet during our limited time Xfinity 10G network launch celebration for just $25 a month for 2 years. Go to Xfinity.com/10G, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Taxes and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply to internet service and devices. Actual speeds vary.
A's Cast Live continues from the town. Here's Chris Townsend.
How about a look at Kotsay's office there? That's something that we get a lot as we got some fans rolling in here to the Treehouse. You know, the thing that has to definitely change, we're crunching some numbers today. The pitching, because like we're talking about with Mark Kotsay there, I think everybody is going to be on board that we're pretty excited, and not overselling this because obviously we know what the record is at 8-31, but there is some excitement about what we are starting to see with Ruiz and what we're seeing with Noda and what we're seeing with Rooker and what we're seeing with Blade. Throw in Langoliers. That is a 5, even though Rooker, I mention all the time, he's 28. Even that's a 5 that you look at and you can say that's the future. And as Dave Stewart said, as Mark Kotsay said, young guys got to learn together. They got to learn to get it handed to them. And then they start to learn, oh, okay, this is how you do it. And then you start to learn how to beat other people. And that's why I've talked about how don't worry about the actual, and it's hard to say this, and it's hard for me to say this, don't worry about the actual record right now because you're just going to beat yourself up. Worry about, are young players getting better? Because I couldn't sit here right now. I'd have to, but I would have a hard time going, well, thank God Tony Kemp's leading off. Thank God Aletmus Diaz, Jesus Aguilar, like the older players that's been played.
Yeah, and the lineup was out today, and I know Aguilar's in the lineup because it's a lefty-righty matchup.
Yeah, I get it. I
get where I totally understand where you're coming from. You talk about the excitement with Ruiz, and we were crunching the numbers.
Well, we talked with Kotsay. We understand when it's going to be a lefty-righty, it's going to be a little different. But, I mean, right now, you've got Ruiz is every day. Doesn't matter who's playing. He's going to be leading off. Batting third, Rooker every day. I get that. You're going to have more of a right-handed lineup today. But as we go forward, you mostly face right-handed pitching, so we are going to see Noda. How do you not have – I mean, Noda is becoming a legit player in front of your eyes.
Yeah.
He's doing things that it's hard to teach. It's hard to teach someone patience. It's hard to teach somebody how to not swing basically only swing at balls that are strikes. What he is doing is he's showing you a mature game. Now, I understand. Ken Quark and I have kicked this around after the game before. You heard Kotsay just say it. Pull the trigger a little more, right? But, okay, you can learn to pull the trigger a little more. What you can learn very tough to do is to know your strike zone. Swing at only strikes. Don't swing at balls. We've talked with Eno Saris. By the way, we got to get his ticket situated. Eno Saris, our national baseball columnist, talked about that was the one thing where the Boston Red Sox a long time ago had this test about, the brain and the eyes and how they work together and what you see. And the one guy that was the best there was a lot of visualization things that they had, but one of them was firing stuff at you, whether it was a ball or a strike, super fast. And the guy that had the best percentage or was right the most on what was, and I don't know exactly what the drills were, he wasn't sitting at the plate seeing baseballs. They had these, whether it was goggles or whatever on, and they're doing balls and strikes. The guy who was the best at it, who?
Balls and wait, sorry. My mind was racing everywhere. You were explaining so many things.
Visualization drills, Boston Red Sox years
Ted
ago.
Williams.
They didn't have this when he was playing. Visualization, technology.
Balls and straight. Manny Ramirez.
Mookie Betts.
Oh, so went too far.
Mookie Betts was the best guy by far. So it's very hard to teach someone to only swing at strikes. If you've got a guy that does that now, he's got this mature eye to him. Noda, I think what we're watching is maybe, just maybe, the start of a little bit of a core here, where you're seeing some speed, you're seeing some athleticism, you're seeing some offense. Can these kids grow? Can they grow to a point to where we're seeing a big difference in June and July?
Yeah, and you mentioned, with Noda, we'll start there with him. He has walked 27. We talked about his his walk rate or walk percentage yesterday, which is the best in baseball. He's walked 27 times. That's fifth in all of Major League Baseball. I mean, Juan Soto, he has more walks than hits. So, but he has 36.
The walk percentage rate at 21.8, we will round it up here. I know baseball loves their point whatever.
Yeah.
We round it up to 22%. He's got the best in baseball. The best in all of Major League Baseball. There's 30 teams. There's all these hitters. This guy's walk rate is the best in baseball.
Out of all AL qualifiers, I don't know if you saw this. I'm sure you did. Only one guy has a higher on base than Ryan Noda and Brent Rooker. It's Matt Chapman. So it goes Chapman at 425, Rooker at 424, Noda, a rookie, at 423 in the American League.
Yeah, overall in baseball, Rooker and Noda are 4th and 5th. I mean, what does that tell you? These are not experienced guys.
Yeah.
These are guys that are learning to do it, but it shows you that there's something here. Finally, there is something here for us to watch. There's no question about it.
And you're talking about building the core. I agree with that because, we've kind of hinted at that, seeing the guys like Blade now being here and Noda and Esty Ruiz, who is on pace for 71 steals, which would be the American League record for a rookie, set by
Kenny Lofton
of the then Cleveland Indians.
Out of
Arizona.
He was a Wildcat basketball player back in the day.
So, I mean, it was crazy to see him get caught twice last night. I mean, so he's only been caught 3 times, or caught last night. He's been caught 3 times all year.
So I always go back to this because we're at Rickey Henderson Field, and Rickey Henderson stole more bases than anybody in the history of baseball. And, oh, my God, Rickey. Well, yes, Rickey Henderson stole the most bases in baseball. He also got caught more than anybody in the history of the game.
I'm curious now because
he got caught a lot. See, we never see those on the videos.
No, it's always the 1,406.
He's raising the bag, and you never see all the times he got caught.
Rickey Henderson in his career, like I said, 1,406 stolen bases. He was caught a Major League record 335 times.
Yeah. He was caught a lot.
I mean, there were teams that don't even try to attempt to steal 335 bags in 10 years.
So you know what? With Estee Ruiz, steal, go. I don't care if you get caught, go. Learn how to do it. Because you know what? Next year and the year after that, we need you not to get caught. So learn how to read the pitchers, learn how to utilize the rules, learn the catchers, learn pitchers' times, learn all that kind of stuff. Because these are the guys you're going to be playing for the next couple of years. Learn their tendencies. Learn how to do it now.
Yeah, and Ruiz, he had 2 more hits last night, so he's still getting on base. I know the hitting streak ended the other day, but he had 2 more hits last night. So you're seeing something with him. You already know what you have with Rooker and Noda so far with their ability to get on base. Blade, I know he had a tough game last night, but he's still hitting over 300 in his small sample size, as they say, that he's up here. Then you have the young pitchers like Ken Waldichuk tonight. He's pitching. I went back and looked. In his last 5 starts, the A's are 4-1. As a team, they're 4-1. Waldichuk's 1-0. But the last
team wins matter. Can we at least say team wins matter?
Well, and you only have 8, and this guy's won. He's been on the mound for 4 of them. He's there for half the time you win. So I guess, are we getting to the point where we're saying Ken Waldichuk is win day?
Are you asking me that?
I'm just throwing it out there.
You're asking me that?
I mean, win day today?
Win day?
Is it win day with Waldy on the mound?
I'm not going to be shocked if we're not that far away from it being in that kind of – if he can harness his stuff, he's got stuff.
Yeah.
If he's able to harness his stuff, because he's got the ability to bring velocity, controlled velocity, where he's not blowing out his arm. He's got the big sweep and curveball, and he's got the changeup. He's got a lot of different ways. We talk about the tunneling where the ball's coming like this, and there's a lot of versions of way the ball will break, change, fat. I mean, he's got a lot of different things to throw at hitters. He's got the arsenal. He's got the weaponry to be able to be successful. Now, what he has to cut down, like we saw in his last outing, was the 6 walks. The 6 walks led to 114 pitches. And now that we're all freaked out about pitches, you got to cut down on the walks, because walks, high pitch counts means you're going to be out of the game pretty fast.
Yeah, and I went back and looked. If you look at his first 2 starts, he was 0-2 with a 14.54 ERA, and he allowed 7 home runs. Since then, his last 5, he's 1-0 with a 4.94. I know the ERA is still high, but it's better than the 14.54. He's struck out 24 guys in 27 1/3, and he's only allowed 5 home runs. He has 14 walks over that span as well, but he's pitching a lot better. He's pitching deep in the games, which is the A's have needed. They have 7 quality starts all year from starting pitchers. Marcus Stroman has 7 by himself.
And the fact that we think quality starts are weak.
Yeah. We got one last night. Luis Medina had one.
6 innings.
6 innings, 3 runs, 3 strikeouts. I mean, 7 all year for the A's staff. Marcus Stroman has 7
You're not even pitching every 5 days.
Yeah, every 6 according to Tom Verducci.
And we're happy. We're happy about 6 innings. That is unbelievable. The thing that really scared me about checking numbers today, as we do every single day, but I really wanted to go to where the A's pitching staff, starters, bullpen rank. Obviously, they're dead last ERA, starters, bullpen overall. They're dead last in home runs given up. Starters, that's the thing. They have to stop walking people and keep the ball in the yard. Starting pitchers for the A's this year have given up 44 home runs, by far the most in baseball. But the most alarming, if you could say the most alarming statistic for the A's in 2023 is simply this. The A's bullpen has walked 102 hitters this year. The next closest team is the Chicago White Sox at 71. There's 29 other teams that are not even close to how many times their bullpens have walked hitters. You come out of the bullpen, your job is to throw strikes. It's not time to nibble. It is time to come out and challenge people and get outs. And if you're walking 102 guys, this isn't, this is the big leagues. I don't care what league you're in. I don't care where you're playing in the world. There's no league that goes, it's a good idea to walk people coming out of the bullpen. The fact that they can't throw strikes, and they so overwhelmingly are bad with walks over any other. The next closest team, the team that's 29th in walks, is at 71, and you're at 102. Man, people got to look themselves in the mirror. That's hard to believe.
Yeah, it's a 31 walk difference there between the two teams, and
that's crazy.
We know how bad the White Sox have been, but I mean, this is just brutal. I went back and looked. As a staff, the A's on their pitching staff has 193 walks. The most walks in a season, the 1915 Philadelphia A's had 827. Just showing in pace.
Well, if you're gonna get beat on them hitting it.
Yeah, like the 68 home runs allowed as an overall staff.
Get beat on hitting it. I mean, I'd rather wear that than giving up 90 feet, because the giving up 90 feet, the giving up the walks is just, you give up home runs and walks. I mean, it's Moneyball the other way around, right? Let's get on base and hit a bunch of 3-run home runs. Well, your pitching is living into the 3 true outcomes without the strikeouts. You're the 2 outcomes. You're the walk, and you're giving up home runs.
Yeah, last time I looked, I think the A's are in the bottom 5th of the league in strikeouts. Also, most hit by pitches and highest opponent's batting average.
That's another thing you can't defend.
Yeah.
So that I mean, you want to know why you're 8-31? It's not because of the offense. I mean,
that's actually pretty good. I wouldn't say elite, but it's been a lot better than we expected.
Far better.
Yeah.
I mean, shut out for the 5th time last night, but the offense has been far better than it has been, and or what you thought it was going to be. Now Texas comes into tonight. You know, you got to give the Rangers a lot of credit, as they overhauled their front office. They overhauled their team. You remember last year when the A's were actually in Texas, you know, you're talking about the president got fired, president of baseball operations, John Daniels got fired. You're firing the manager. You're firing everybody. You go out. I mean, who would have thought they would be able to bring Bruce Bochy back? Who would have thought they would have that kind of opportunity, that Bochy, you know, would even want to go to Texas? Because we looked at Texas as, really? But now you're starting to see it with the money that they've spent and what they've done with pitching and bringing a bunch of pitching in. And even though their top guy, DeGrom, still not healthy, it's been a dramatic change. And right now, Texas is kind of doing everything well. And the guy they got going tonight, Martin Perez, this guy has loved pitching against the A's.
Yeah, I have the numbers. Perez, the Rangers have won 5 of his 7 starts this year. They've scored 51 runs in those starts. Texas has a very good offense. Texas is one of each of Perez's 3 starts versus the A's last season. He allowed just 2 earned runs in 20 innings across 3 outings. He's 1-0 with a .90 ERA in that span against the A's. He's been a revelation for them since last year. Because remember, he went and signed the deal in Boston.
Well, if he was a revolution,
yeah, That's we're talking
or
about
it's a revolution.
Yeah, we're talking about spin rates now, huh?
Huh?
We had Sammy spin was already here.
Sammy spin rate. He knows his spin rates. I'm not buying. He doesn't know his spin rates. Quickly, let's go over this again before we get out of here. We got the socks. We got the socks for tonight. So if you're listening out there on A's Cast, if you're watching on Twitter or YouTube, we got the killer socks tonight. Come out and see us. Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Night. It's Heritage Month, but we're doing tonight. And then, of course, on Sunday, tomorrow, what are we doing tomorrow?
It's a special ticket Groot bobblehead giveaway. Groot from Guardians of the Galaxy. The third movie just came. I have not seen it yet.
Because it is a Fox game tomorrow.
That's right, FS1.
We will be A's Cast only tomorrow.
Correct. No NBC Sports California.
And then we've got the belt bag for Sunday for Mother's Day.
So I think if there's anything we're missing, I think that's pretty sure that's everything we have for giveaway-wise. So we have the AAPI socks tonight for Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Night. It's Heritage Month, but we're celebrating the night tonight. Groot giveaway at the special ticket
By the way,
tomorrow.
the bag has so many different compartments for you to put whatever you want to put in here. I dig the little pin, the little A's pin on here. I know if you're listening at home, you can't see it, but that's your fault. You could be watching it. It's a pretty cool bag. Step in the giveaway ups.
I mean, I've always been a sucker for bobbleheads, but we have plenty of those now. So the belt.
We got Groot
tomorrow,
Groot
yeah.
tomorrow.
But we have the Mandalorian Mark Kotsay bobblehead already, and that one's very prominent on the remote road studio desk, which we need to add some more to that. I think we have some. I mean, we do have the Otani one hidden in the background, but I think we have some other A's ones we can dig up somewhere.
And then the Snakes come to town. What do we have? Torey Lovello?
Okay, efforting Torey Lovello.
Okay. We got Arizona coming to town to end the homestand Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Yep.
And then we finally have a day off next Thursday.
David Force is going to be with us on Monday down on the field as well.
Hey, I wanted to throw this out there real quick before we get out of here. By the way,
we still have time.
You realize on this date, 98 years ago, Yogi Berra was born?
98 years ago. Well, baseball's 90%. What is it? 90% mental. And
baseball's 90% physical, the other half mental.
Yeah,
I think is what it is. I'll never forget. I threw that on one of my hits to Vince Cotroneo, and Vince was like, "All right, thanks, Townie, appreciate it." Like, you don't get the joke. Yogi Berra, 14 pennants, 10 World Series championships in 18 years.
It's pretty impressive.
The game was different. It was playoffs were they were the dominant team. They were going to be in the playoffs.
That's an understatement.
But I mean, to win 10 World Series, I don't care. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, and the question on MLB Now today was who has the most World Series wins that's a non-Yankee?
I did not know this and wasn't even close.
Our intern Renee knew it. The answer was Eddie Collins with the Philadelphia A's and the Chicago White Sox with 6. It's pretty impressive. 6 World Series.
And he still is third or fourth in A's single season stolen bases, like 81.
Yeah, there's the only players with 65 plus stolen bases in a season with the A's are Ricky Henderson. He only did it 6 times. It's kind of lackluster. Eddie Collins and Billy North, which Esty could maybe pass him this year. Billy North, I think he had 75. The record the last 13 years was Rajay stole 50 in 2010 and Coco, I think 49 the next year, 2012. Esty's at 17 already. I think he can get to 50 easily.
Easily. I mean, if he's not breaking this rookie record, as long as he's here, as long as he's healthy, as long as he hits, I think there's no way he doesn't break this AL rookie record.
I think it's 66 like Kenny Lofton. Yeah, I mean, what do we say the Major League record was when we were looking? It was Billy Hamilton of the Kansas City Cowboys or something in 1880. We're talking about 1889 because the National League record is obviously Vince Coleman, 110.
Yeah.
I think the record was 111. By the way, Johnny D is going to come over for a few minutes so we can we can throw it to a break so you can go get pretty for TV.
I got to go do makeup, but I'll tell you what. I'll say it now, mark the tape. If he doesn't get 66, I'll be shocked.
Well,
I'll be shocked.
I feel like that could be a hot take, but I feel like that's not hot take, mark the tape enough for this program.
Oh, wow.
Now, you saying the Yankees.
Your Mariners not making the playoffs and you having to buy me another dinner? How's that? Is that a hot take?
Where are the Mariners? Hold on. Do I have
where are the Mariners right now? Where are the Mariners? When I said, yeah, I'm not buying the Mariners.
Mariners are 18-19. Hey, they're hovering.
Yeah, they're under 500. He had them winning the World Series. I said, I'll bet against that.
Didn't say World Series.
Oh, you were hot to trot on the Mariners. Always special to have Dave Stewart come by. Thank you to Dallas Braden. Did you see me throw a little fast one by Dallas Braden?
About the perfect game?
No one ever asked him that, and he never really wants to talk about it. But for all of us who experienced it, it's like part of our fandom. It's part of, like, if we worked around it, it's like one of the cool things. Well, what's one of the cool days on your job? Well, it was Dallas Braden on Mother's Day throwing a perfect game.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's just not his. It's ours.
Yeah.
It's all of ours. That's how A's fans feel.
13 years ago, what was it? Mother's Day, was it the 10th? So, I mean, we played the game on A's Cast leading into A's Cast Live the other day when we were on the road.
Yeah.
It was special. I remember watching it on the East Coast. I was in college at the time. I mean, now we're really dating ourselves.
And Sammy's spin rate, Ruby Lopez birthday, so she's getting a little shout out. All right, Johnny D is going to be in, and we will see you
Monday.
We'll see you on Monday. Thank you, everybody. Coming up next, Johnny D and the Commander right here on A's Cast Live.
This is Chris Townsend. There are two things that are a must for me: comfort and style. Whether I'm playing golf, going to dinner, I've got to have the right feel. That's why I've partnered with Linksole, and you're going to love Linksole. They have just released their new spring line, new fabrics for their polos, lightweight and perfect for technical performance. Linksole also has new styles for their layers and hoodies with cool prints and seasonal colors. You know what they say in the big leagues: look good, play good. Go to linksole.com. That's linksole.com.
Chevron with Techron has unbeatable engine cleaning power, and it gives you unbeatable mileage for all kinds of unbeatable destinations, like time in the sun at the beach, or time in the sun riding roller coasters, or a day in the sun hiking mountains. Well, probably just one mountain would be enough for a day, but hiking a mountain is still an unbeatable choice for how to spend time. Download the Chevron app now to get unbeatable mileage at locations near you.
This is Chris Townsend, and if you're looking for a great place to eat and watch games, go see my friends at the Chicken Pie Shop of Walnut Creek. The Chicken Pie Shop is one of the hottest restaurants in Walnut Creek. You're not going to find a better menu, and come try their world-famous chicken pie that has been served in Southern California for 86 years. Spacious indoor and outdoor dining, perfect for your next private party or corporate event. Don't forget free parking. For more information, go to chickenpieshopwc.com. That's chickenpieshopwc.com.
If you're looking for a new mattress, Nest Bedding has you covered. Sleep on the same mattress Hall of Famer Ricky Henderson sleeps on. Nest Bedding is the #1 brand of online mattresses and the Bay Area's favorite mattress store. Take home the Easy Breather pillow. The New York Times calls it their #1 pick. You can navigate their easy-to-use website, nestbedding.com. That's nestbedding.com. Green and Gold fans, use the coupon code Oakland and you get 10% off your entire order. Nest Bedding, love where you sleep.
Thanks to the Xfinity 10G network, my little brother's friends won't leave our house. When I was their age, internet with basically no interruptions was a pipe dream.
You sound like my grandpa. Now through April 23rd, new customers can get 200 megabit Xfinity internet during our limited time Xfinity 10G network launch celebration for just $25 a month for 2 years. Go to Xfinity.com/10G, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Taxes and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply to internet service and devices. Actual speeds vary.
Hey, Billy, this deck is great for getting everyone together. Thanks. We're really enjoying the outdoor space, especially on a day like today. What's the material? Humboldt Redwood from Ashby Lumber. They gave us a great deal, provided us with a quick quote, and we couldn't be happier. We even found a great contractor through their online contractor directory.
Don't miss a day outdoors. Visit Ashby Lumber in Berkeley or Concord to see our stock of naturally strong, naturally beautiful Humboldt Redwood. Find out more at ashbylumber.com for all your building needs. Ashby Lumber.
Innovation. It's at the core of Cal State East Bay, like at our Green Biome Institute, where faculty and students preserve genetic information from California's endangered plants, or how we open doors for local entrepreneurs at our Small Business Development Center. From educators to nurses to STEM professionals, Cal State East Bay has real impact throughout the region's neighborhoods, boardrooms, and the entire economy. Be part of the innovation. Connect with Cal State East Bay at csueastbay.edu/impact.
Bring the whole family out to the ballpark for this Friday night showdown on May 26th. Come see your A's take on the Houston Astros, then head down to the field to see the best fireworks in the Bay Area. So get ready to enjoy a one-of-a-kind Pop Through the Decades post-game fireworks show.
Throws and it's swung and hit to right field, deep in the corner, and that's going to be gone, and it's back to back to back.
Grab your seats today at athletics.com/fireworks. That's athletics.com/fireworks.
Streaming from the Treehouse, A's Cast Live continues with Chris Townsend.
Well, no. Again, this is always my favorite part when it's not Tony. It's myself and you, Johnny. Thank you for hustling over here. You looked like you ran a marathon to get over here.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure I got here. I got directions. I'm still getting a feel for it, so I got some directions, and I was able to find my way here, and I'm going to get some directions back. So yeah, I'm not the best with sense of directions as it is. So.
Well, I mean, I know it took you a couple minutes to get over here. You got pregame to do. Ace Total Access coming up in about 15 minutes.
Yeah,
you're going to hear from Sam Maul, Dallas Braden.
Well, how was Sammy Mole?
Sammy spin rate?
Yeah, Sammy.
He was good. He's always good talking about his routine and his spin rate. So you'll like to hear that. Dallas talked about the perfect game, which I don't think we're going to use that part of it. But Townie, first thing off the bat was like, "Hey, why don't you talk about the perfect game?" And Dallas was caught off guard, and he was going through the whole moment. Why didn't want to talk about it? It was really good.
Yeah. It's emotional for him.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he went through that whole process, and Townie explained why it was so big for everyone that was involved, because everyone was here and they lived it. I wasn't here, but everyone else was here and they lived it. So I can understand why Dallas doesn't want to talk about it all the time. And it's one of those things that's so special. I mean, you threw at the time the 19th perfect game. But I think the last one we've had was it King Felix? I think King Felix might have had 2012.
Wow. So we've not had one since, because we had a bunch in a row. Remember, it was Dallas and then Philip Humber, right? And Felix. There were a bunch.
I mean, Chris Heston had one. Or no, sorry. I'm thinking about no-hitters.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, Humber had one. Then it was King Felix.
We have not had a no-hitter yet this year in MLB, correct? Is that
that is correct.
Okay.
Who came? Well, Mason Miller had to.
Yeah.
He was close.
Yeah.
We haven't had one. We only had 5 complete games. So I think the most recent one, I could have missed one in the last week, but Mitch Keller had the most recent. He had the shutout for the Pirates last week.
Yeah.
5.
Wow.
I mean,
there's. It's. We're going to see one. We're going to see one. We are.
I mean, every year I feel like there's some guy that comes out of nowhere. I mean, who thought Mike Fiers was going to throw one when there was the light bank one out, and there's almost a 2-hour delay here at the Coliseum. He throws one. Then Minaya has one the year before against the Red Sox. I feel like no hitters that when we had the year of the pitcher kind of coming back because of sticky stuff and all that, and they finally adjusted it. And there was a good article by Tom Verducci in SI today about how that crackdown's actually really worked, and all the batting average numbers are going back up.
They're going back up, but I was surprised that they're going up a little bit, but the average batting average is like 3 points up, maybe like 293, 296, like or on balls hit and play. It's 243, right? It's 240. It's 243 up from 239 or whatever, but. The BABIP, if you will, that's up a little bit.
Batting
too.
average balls put in play for everyone who doesn't know BABIP.
So
we're a very analytical program here.
Yeah,
we like to use those numbers.
We try. We're all learning it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big OPS plus guy. Don't tell me about your OPS. I need to know your OPS plus. It needs to be adjusted.
Right.
So tonight, Martin Perez against Ken Waldachuk. What are you expecting to see out of Waldachuk?
Well, I think Waldachuk, you got to give him a lot of credit for what happened last time. 114 pitches. I love the fact, and we talked about it, the fact that they let him go, and he did a great job. Look, he walked 6 and still did not have his good stuff and still got the win. He battled in that game. So that was a good sign. I think that could propel him a little momentum. He knows the coaching staff. He knows that Kotsay has confidence in him to keep him in there for that period of time. And look, he's going against a really tough left-hander, Martin Perez, who's starting to get it as he gets older. His best year was last year. So this will be a tough matchup for the A's.
I was telling that to Townie that, he signed the contract in Boston, didn't really live up to it, comes back to Texas, has a great year last year. Yeah. He's pitched really well in his last 3 starts against the A's. I mean, they've won his last 3 starts. He has an ERA under 1 in those starts against the A's. He's pitching well this year. They've won. What is it? They've won 5 of his 7 starts this year, and they've scored 51 runs in those games. Now, Ken Waldachuk, you can use this for pregame. On his last 5 starts, the A's are 4-1 in those games. Half the A's wins have been in Ken Waldachuk starts.
That's awesome.
So there you go. Is it win? Are we going to call win day every time Waldachuk's on the mound? I mean, last 5 games, we're not talking about a small sample size anywhere. I'm kidding. It kind of is. But still, he's 1-0. Their team's 4-1. He's pitched a lot better from those first 2 starts. We had the ERA over 14.5.
Yeah.
So he's starting to look better. He had the 114 pitch outing, which I'm surprised we're throwing him out there. I thought everyone's arm fell off after that many pitches. That's the running joke. So I'm hopefully we can see improvement from him going forward more because these starts have been great. Texas has a very good lineup. And
yes, they do. Yes, they do.
But the A's have a good top half, and I know it's a lefty-righty matchup now with Aguilar's in the lineup today. So we'll see if they're able to get to Perez. But
yeah, we may see the 2023 A's debut of one Zach Neal. He may be in there tonight. I don't know if he's going to get the call tonight or tomorrow. He'll be in there at some point. So pretty exciting stuff. See, Zach Neal, 7 years, almost to the day. Yesterday, 7 years that he made his A's debut. So
I remember we were going over that because I know you said you know him very well, and it was cool. And hopefully we get to see him, and then we'll effort to get him on A's Cast next week. I mean,
he's all over it. He'll be all over.
I'll make sure we ask David Forst about him, and and we'll try to get Zach on because it's a great story and
pretty cool. You can go home again, right? I mean, that's pretty cool. Like it just gets the call up.
We're seeing with Texas and Martin Perez.
That's right.
I mean, you can go home again and revitalize your career.
And by the way, how about the voice on Martin Perez, right? Singing the Venezuelan national anthem before a game against the Houston Astros on March 8th. Got a beautiful singing voice. He actually, if it wasn't going into baseball, he would have gone into singing. Like he's that good a singer.
Oh, wow. I didn't even know that. So look, see, I told you about Waldachuk. You told me about Martin Perez.
There we go. There we go.
Johnny, thank you.
Hey, thank you.
You got pregame to do.
Yep.
You'll hear from Sam Maul, Dallas Braden. Is anyone else I'm missing?
Those 2 are the big ones.
Scott Emerson with Ken Korak. Okay. So A's Total Access coming up here in 10 minutes. That's going to be it for Johnny D. That's going to be it for us here from the Treehouse. Very busy, very packed, fun time. We'll be back on Monday at 4 o'clock for A's Cast Live from the field. David Forst will be with us. Hopefully, we'll get Tori Lavello, our good friend from the Snakes, because he's a great guest and a good friend of the program. And a former A has the great story about how he was cut on his birthday by Art Howe and Sandy Alderson. So hopefully we'll see him on Monday, but that'll be it for A's Cast Live. Thanks everyone for watching and listening. And Johnny D will be coming up in 9 minutes with A's Total Access right here on A's Cast and the A's Radio Network.
Baseball season is officially here, and there's no better time to build your collection of Topps trading cards. Topps packs feature everything from top stars, rookies, game